Hi everyone, so I'm doing my next section on the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership with John Maxwell. I'm a member of his team and I'm building my business. So today I'm looking at the law of the big mo. And what's important for us to remember is that everybody starts small. Everybody comes from small beginnings. There's very few of us who are handed a silver platter or who have doors open for us. And Eleanor Dowen says you cannot kindle a fire in any other heart until it is burning within your own. And that's very true. I'll give you an example of when I was a student at Wits University. I was very bad with statistics. I couldn't do it for the life of me. And we had a young Jewish man there, and he used to offer free classes. So I asked him if he can take me. His name was Harold. I can't remember his last name. But he was an engineering student, and he said, yes, I'll take you. And so he used to tutor me on Saturdays. I used to go to him. And once I got the hang of statistics, I loved it. The same thing with maths. I wasn't very good at maths. But once I had the support I needed, I managed to pass. And he wasn't just doing it for me, he was doing it for quite a few people in our class. Once we got the hang of it, we started passing, and we became among the best students for statistics at Wits. And that's how it is with momentum. When we have momentum, we have to keep it going in our companies, on our teams. John Maxwell gives an example of basketball teams. You'll find that when the other team is winning, the coaches will pull the teams off. They'll ask for a timeout so that they can re-strategize. They can look at what they can do differently, and they can come back together to win. Because that momentum of winning, it keeps you going. It's the same as when I was working in customer service. Once I found out what would work and what was helping the customers, I kept doing those things. And that helped me to get the best scores. It helped me to get people saying, I hope next time when I come in, or when I call in, I can speak to you. So those are the things we have to remember, the positive things and the areas we can work on. And with any company, success doesn't happen overnight. It's built up over time. It's something that we strive for, that we aim for. And even with our partnerships, with the partnerships that we're working on, we're not going to agree on everything. But when we have common ground, where we have things that we're aiming for, that we want to achieve, then we can move forward on those areas and we can help each other. If we don't have anything in common, we can't move forward because we'll be looking at life from different perspectives. And that's true with things that are happening in Canada. Canada is going to be leading the G7 next year. So that's a big opportunity for us. There'll be big investments made, there'll be positive changes coming, and we can use that to our advantage. There's going to be opportunities for Canada to showcase its skills, for investments to be made here, but the environment has to be right, and people have to be treated properly. They have to know that there's a good environment to work here, people are being treated fairly, that we have our human rights respected, because the images going out on the news of people breaking things in Montreal and riots and just things not being safe, increase of crime, that's not giving us the right message, because we have a strong economy, we have a good country, and we need to build it up so that things like that are not acceptable. And that people who are good and who are able to do jobs and to hold management positions, including myself and people on the teams I've worked on, are given those opportunities. not people who are deliberately breaking policies, not people who are saying, well, I don't really care if there's a privacy issue or if there's something wrong. And if you tell people, this is why we're doing it, and they're still saying, no, we're not going to do it, and they're bringing their phones onto the floor and they're coming into work drunk. I mean, I really don't see why they're staying in the company. But again, it's not my company. I'm just an educated person putting forward my opinion. The company has to decide what type of person they want working for them, what kind of ethics they want, what kind of credibility they want. Because I'm credible. I have my HR designations. I have support in the community. I've led retreats online for the Catholic Church, for the Jesuits. So I know that with my momentum, I have to keep it going, including with my John Maxwell and with my piano playing. And I have to keep reaching out and asking people for help to get those right opportunities, to get those breaks, to be able to undertake speaking the same way I did it for the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund in Canada. That was an initiative set up by the Conservatives, because in our schools here, at least when I was doing it, people didn't understand what it was. Because children are children. Children can be taught to play together and work together, and they didn't know what apartheid was. So I educated them on Nelson Mandela, on his life, why he went to prison, and why it's important that we remember his life. And it was very moving because I was dealing with very young children in the schools and going to different schools. And they paid me to do it. They gave me a small stipend and they helped with the taxis, with the transportation. I wasn't working at the time. So for me, that was good because not only did it help me take a message into the schools, but it also gave me something valuable to do and to contribute to Canada and also to build bridges for South Africa. So those are the points that we can remember, and we can look at where our organization is at, what kind of momentum are we building, and is it bringing us the results that we want. For me, it is bringing me the results I want because I have people signing up for my talks, and I'm grateful for that. And I do pray for God's blessing over my talks, over my values, and I try to improve. I go back and I listen to my talks, and that's what we should all be doing when we want to improve. Whatever the area is, we go back and we look at it. For us women and men who like to cook, who like hospitality, we can look at our recipes. I made a dal curry yesterday, and I tried to follow a recipe I found on the internet, not using the way I normally do it, but I found it very bland the way that it came out. So I added in extra spices that were not in the recipe. I added in paprika and I added in some red chili to give it a little bit of a tang. So people have different tastes. We have different ways of cooking. I wanted to try something different, and I was happy with the result. But that's how it is. We have to try things, and we learn, we fail, then we learn again, and then the next time it comes out better, and we keep that momentum going. For those of us who enjoy hospitality, who like going out to eat at restaurants, many of us have applied to jobs in those areas, because we like being with people, we like helping people. So those are good things to think about. Where are our skills and how can we keep the momentum going? So I hope that helps you. John Maxwell is a New York Times best-selling author. I'm a member of his team and I'm building my business while looking for work. And it's a tough environment in Canada, but I'm positive that I will get a break and I will get a job. And I'm building partnerships with people. And our values and what we are trying to achieve is important. It's important in our work. It's important in our life. Because for me, I don't want to work in a company where I'm not going to get religious accommodation, not even on Good Friday, the holiest day of our year. It's not going to be a good fit for me. So I want to be with a company that is going to value my religion, that is going to value my ethics, because those things are important. If other people have their religious accommodation, I too should be respected, and I too should have my religious accommodation and my health accommodation. Any reasonable company would want me to perform at my best. They wouldn't be putting me to work overnight knowing that, okay, in order for her to work at her best and for her anxiety not to flare up, she needs a day shift. So we also have to, when we're applying for jobs as immigrants, we have to be aware of that. Understandably, sometimes there is no option. Like with me, I had no option, so I had to do it, and my health suffered. Many immigrants are in Botswana, who are Zimbabweans. They're in South Africa. They're in the same situation as me. They're highly educated. They have good ethics. The South Africans know. If you hire a Zimbabwean, they're going to work 10 times as hard as a South African. And people told me that. When we hire the South Africans, they don't work as hard as the Zimbabweans. But it's not fair to us to lowball us on our wages, to give us jobs that nobody else wants to do. When you know that we are capable, you know that we have good ethics, and you know that we are hardworking. You should be looking for jobs for us where we will be in management, where we will be given responsibilities, and where we will be paid well. Not bringing us into organizations or bringing us into your country and saying, well, we can just give you the menial jobs, because you do not value us if that is what you are doing. Nobody wants that. I grew up in a family where we cooked our meals. My mother cooked, I cooked, my sister cooked. We didn't have our domestic workers preparing our meals because we wanted it that way. We enjoyed the cooking experience. We enjoyed coming home and preparing things. For us, it was fun. And my mother used to, on Saturdays when we came home from church, she used to tell us, you can just go and sit and relax. I'll take care of the meal. So she spoilt us in that way. But we did have our turn where we cooked, where we changed the bedding, where we helped with the domestic work. We did everything together with our domestic workers. I did, at least. And when we couldn't afford them, I did the polishing of the floors. I washed the clothes by hand. Our families went through very, very hard times. So for me, it's a privilege to have a washer and dryer in my unit. But I also work very, very hard to maintain that and to keep that. So it depends, what do we want in life? Because you get what you pay for. I could move out of here and I could go and rent a room in a house and then pay an extra gym membership, pay a fee for going to use a pool, pay a fee to go to the library. I could do all that, but I could also stay here, pay a little extra in the rent, and get a better paying job. And that's my aim. It's to get a better paying job so I can look after myself, look after my family, and move ahead with my life, and continue to accomplish my goals and keep my health. I don't want to be put back in a situation in minimum wage where I'm unappreciated, where there's no room for growth, where there's no room for accommodation. That's not my aim in life. So as an immigrant, you also have to choose. At the beginning, you may not have the options, but now I've been here a long time. I came here in 2002. So I'm also applying now for the better paid jobs, the good opportunities, the long-term positions, because I'm valuable and I have the education, I have the resources, and I'm a Canadian. I've been here a long time now, and I'm worthy of that. So too with you, as you prove yourself, you will be worthy of taking on more responsibility, better paid jobs. I didn't have an option for 11 years. I had to take what was available. And most of the time, they just wanted somebody to come in, do the job, and leave. And even when I asked them, they said, oh, don't worry, we'll extend the contract. You've done an amazing job. But they let me down. So I have to find an organization where I can be successful and I can take my skills with me. And I can get that good paying job and that good opportunity. Because I also want the healthcare benefits, the pension. I want to buy a car. And if I'm hardworking and capable, I've already done it. I want to have those opportunities open for me now.